when to leave. And I'm not talking about just jumping up and just banging out and just being like, peace everybody, I'm out, I'm on to the next thing. This is strategy. Nothing lasts forever, even your job. You could be cut any day. Let's just keep it honest. There is no such thing as job security, especially in this age and the type of economic crisis you can say. Everything is on a shift. Welcome to another session of Strategies for Creatives. My name is Chris Branham, and today we are talking about three main things. What you're looking at, what did you learn, and when is it time to leave? Let's brainstorm. All right, so we're gonna jump right into it. What are you looking at? What has your attention? What are you focused on? What is driving your eye gate to do whatever you're doing? So this is something I had to ask myself. Personally, me and my wife, we're about to adopt a beautiful little girl. This is our little cousin. She was born on December 21st, 2024. And it has my mind going in so many different directions because we haven't been parents. We're not parents, we don't have any children, we only have 2 dogs. So now we're trying to figure out, what does that mean for our day-to-day operations? What does that mean for my current environment, for my job? What does that mean for our household environment? And how are we going to navigate? Like, what plans and strategies do we need to put in place for our house? So that made me think about, what am I focused on? If I am not paying attention to what's necessary, that means I have a lot of information I need to cut out and just move out of the way, because it's actually going to take up space and it's going to be more of a distraction rather than a helpful piece of information and a piece of insight. So what are you paying attention to? What perspective do you have currently in your life that is affecting you? How you're going about this is going to be very unique, and you might want to compartmentalize a few things. This is something that helped me. So I would recommend jotting down what is perspective to you and look at the definition. Because for me personally, I had kind of a little backwards. And I'm going to show it right here on the link so you can see it. This is the definition of perspective. And this is what I had to pay attention to. How am I viewing what's necessary? How is it related to me? What is it doing for me currently? And how is it going to help me in the future? That is the proper perspective I know I need in order to make the proper decisions moving forward in my future. And then we got to get on number 2. What have I learned? What have I learned in 2024? That was a lot going on. It was a big year for me personally. And I know it was probably a big year for a lot of people. A lot of changes, presidency. What have you learned personally? What books have you read? What audiobooks have you listened to? What online courses have you taken? What type of information and knowledge have you gathered to make quality decisions in your next phase and the next chapter in your life? Because that is going to be very helpful to figure out 2025. Often we don't like to look back because it might not be glamorous or glitzy, or you haven't done everything that's necessary. And I'm guilty of that too, because we all have a lot going on. We might have overlooked some things, and we, look back and be like, man, I should have did X, Y, and Z and I get a chance to, or I did have a chance and I was lazy. There's so many excuses we can give, but this is a new year. This is a new time. This is a new moment. What are you going to do with that type of information that you learned in the past to help your future? Yo, what's up, everybody? To all my followers, everyone that's been watching and has been enjoying the content, I wanted to let you all know that I have some apparel that I just released on my website, desktopcreatives.com. Wear the drip. If you're interested, want to rock something different, just want to support, go to my website, desktopcreatives.com. Wear the drip. All the apparel's out there, sweatshirts, t-shirts, beanies, and I even got a cup on there if you enjoy your Java. And that is the goal. So learn. What have you learned? List those things down. Figure out which ones were priority, which ones were extremely necessary. Because if you have a gift, you want to make sure you're learning the proper things that are skills necessary to propel you and to connect and operate with the gift that you have. Because if you're just learning things just to learn things, that's nice, but you're going to be more of a novice rather than an individual that's considered an asset. When you look at those items that you've learned, you also want to dig a little deeper. Who was the author? Did they have credibility? Was it important? Was it information that was assumed, or did it have factual knowledge backing it? Was it something that I can leverage for the rest of my life, or just to get me somewhere quick? So this is gonna be the fun one, when to leave. And I'm not talking about just jumping up and just banging out and just being like, peace everybody, I'm out, I'm on to the next thing. This is strategy. Nothing lasts forever, even your job. You could be cut any day. Let's just keep it honest. There is no such thing as job security, especially in this age and the type of economic crisis you can say. Everything is on a shift. Don't think for 1 second your job is safe. I've been laid off before. It was just they were downsizing. They didn't know what to do with my position. position and they just had to get rid of it. Do you have a strategy when you come in the door? And do you have a strategy when you want to leave? Because that also will give you more insight about the time frame you desire to be somewhere. Now, granted, no job wants to hear that you're going to be there for 2 years, 6 months, or X, Y, and Z. Nobody wants to hear that, because now they want to be able to say that they can count on you, you're dependable, and you're going to be here for, a long stint of your career in order to support the company. But here's the thing, not everybody thinks that way. And depending on what you want to learn and what you want to gather, again, that learning piece, that also means you might be there for a moment in time. And that moment in time may be shorter than what they're expecting. Here's the thing, and this could be a little tricky, when to be honest about that. Some things you don't want to share, because if you leave all your cards on the table, everybody knows your hand. So you might want to have a little discretion depending on how you want to navigate and what you're really there for. But it should be to learn and to educate and also benefit them as well, because there is some type of reciprocity within being hired by a company. Because I've seen and I've hired and helped hire individuals and realized there's 2 parts where most people leave. 1, they don't desire to leave. Well, I'll say 3 things. 1, they don't desire to leave. 2, they have been removed because they didn't do such a good job. And 3, there's nothing else to do. There's nothing else to learn. They've kind of plateaued and been very stagnant in their position, and there's nothing else for them to gather from that environment or that space. So what do you do with that? The next thing is, I have to leave if I desire to grow, or I'm going to be stagnant and I'm not going to actually fulfill and produce the type of fruit that I desire. And then I won't feel like I'm doing anything for the company. I'll just feel like I'm just going through the process and it's going to become mundane. Before you even get to that point, there should be areas to maneuver and navigate. And you want to look at the company or the entity or the business as a whole, so you're not bored. That is something that is very important for a lot of people to make strategic steps and when to exit and when to pivot. Is this environment going to sustain my psyche? Is it going to sustain my feelings, my emotions? Is it going to sustain my appetite and desire to do more? Or am I going to get burnt out? Do you see the writing on the wall? And this is the strategy that you have to have, because you got to pay attention to a lot of things that might be going on and start seeing like, oh, they're going to start doing budget cuts, or, oh, we're about to start going back in the office. And that's actually going to, either help or hinder the environment that you already have. And now you got to start thinking like, how do I want to navigate? Do I want to go back to the office 24/7? I know that's something I've thought about because I got very comfortable with hybrid. And now a lot of companies are saying, oh, we want them back in the office because we're going to help the economy. Honestly, it depends on the environment that's already previously set, because you can't just create a culture out of nowhere and then now bring people back and just accept it and just think that everybody's going to mesh well. That just doesn't happen. When you think about your exit strategy, how do you want to exit, and how do you want to exit on the right terms? Your mindset and your motive for leaving should also be considered in your process. Have the right mindset to make the decision and do it well. Hope this helps somebody. Like, subscribe, all that great YouTube stuff. If you are in any one of those 3 stages, I would love to brainstorm with you all and figure out how you can make your next steps your best steps. Peace.